People of God, today we've got an amazing testimony from the hands of our father and our mother. This is again another against all odds kind of testimony for this lady. Things were not going on well for her. Everything was just bleak. Her health, her marriage, everything about her was going nowhere. But there was a hand which touched her, and everything was put into the right order. So this is just a foretaste of what's waiting for the ladies at the conference. You know, our parents don't just start by doing things at the conference. They have demonstrated time and again that whatever they preach, they do it. They demonstrate it. So this testimony is just a testament of what they all have always been doing. So without further ado, allow us to call forward Mrs. Fende to the podium. Let's just give her a round of applause as she comes forward. Let's applaud, let's applaud, let's applaud. We welcome you, Mama, to this, to share your testimony. And we are excited about what God has done for you. Because we understand you had a very huge medical problem for many years. It continued plaguing you, giving you discomfort, lack of peace, restlessness for many, many years. Maybe you can tell us briefly what was happening.
Thank you, Chiremba. Shalom. Ndakaita pelvic problem from 2014. It started when I was pregnant with my second child. So ndakasika medical attention. Taona kuti problem iri kuramba ichienderera mberi. I had no peace, like it affected my right leg.
I was affected on the right side.
So you had this pelvic pain, which was now affecting even the right leg. Okay? So just go into details what this pain was like. What did it stop you from doing? What challenges did you face because of this pain?
I couldn't walk properly, even kugara, kwairwadza.
Even sitting was difficult for me, it was painful.
Driving as well, it wasn't easy. Marriage chaimo, it has become a challenge. Because of the pain yandaenzwa on that leg.
You were just telling us that even here in church where you sit, people now knew that there is this lady who has this problem.
Yes, that's true. I think vanondegara now up, most of them, they know kuti ndaisada kutogumwa gumbo racho.
Even the people that I used to sit with close by here in church, they actually knew my problem.
What would happen if somebody comes close to you? Like they have contact with you, maybe you're just seated and accidentally they bump into you. What would happen?
I could feel the pain.
Whenever somebody came close to me, I would actually feel the pain, and it would appear as if there was flames and fire in the leg.
So what it meant was you didn't want anyone close to you?
Yes.
Anyone whatsoever?
Yes.
Wow. So you can imagine, if she doesn't want anyone close to her here in church, what more of home? It means you didn't want anyone close to you, even at home.
That's very correct.
Doctor, your words are words of wisdom, the way that you've expressed them. You were saying that even your life with your partner was hard for you because of the condition that you actually had.
Yes.
So this is 2014, 2015, 16, 17, 18, up to 2022.
Yes, that's correct.
That's how many years? 2014
About
to
8 years.
8 years
Yes.
of this constant suffering.
Yes.
And you can't really explain what it is.
I couldn't. We went for specialists, but we couldn't find anything.
There were,
There were some things that they said, but the pain didn't go away.
they couldn't explain the pain.
Yes, yes.
We've got some scans that we have from 2014. I think that's where the first scan, when the first scan was done. Media team, you can show us the scan from 2014 so that we can see what they saw and whether it speaks to the pain that she was feeling. So there she's got a scan which is just showing bilateral multiple physiological cysts. Every lady, or I would say more than 90% of the ladies have got cysts which come and go, but they don't suffer pain whereby you don't even want anyone close to you. They don't suffer the pain. This scan is from 2014, 18 November 2014. Okay? We can have the next scan. You can show us the next scan. We have got several scans, so we had to select, skipping others from in between. This is now 26 September 2017. This again says uterus. The uterus is marginally bulky, measuring those dimensions. There is no discrete endometrial or myometrial lesion evident. They talk about something. The endometrium is a well-defined echogenic outline measuring only 0.5 centimeters. Ovaries, the left ovary is normal, few physiological follicles, again measuring 9.3 centimeters cubed in volume. The right ovary demonstrates a fairly prominent ovoid cyst, measuring, those are the dimensions, it's about 5 centimeters, the cyst on the right ovary. So now they think they found the cause, that perhaps is the ovarian cyst. But you've got many people with these cysts, but they walk properly. They don't suffer as much as you were doing. So what did the doctor say after this, when they saw this huge cyst?
When they saw this huge cyst, they advised that I should have the cyst drained.
Okay. So they advised that we need to drain the cyst.
Yes, maybe so that they thought that the pain would go away
Okay.
if they drained the cyst.
So they went ahead and drained the cyst.
Yes.
And did the pain go away?
No,
It remained
it remained.
as it was before the operation.
Yes.
Wow. You know, you can imagine. You have parted with money, you have been put under anesthesia. All those are risky things. Anesthesia, the surgery itself. But still you have the problem. The doctor has said, let's try this. Perhaps it's going to work. But it doesn't work. So you continued with the same suffering.
Yes.
We've got another scan from 2022. We've skipped some years in between. You can show us that scan, media team. So this is another scan. This is 2020. So this is 22 February 2020. So the uterus is normal, anteverted, anteflexed, non-gravid uterus is demonstrated. They talk about the dimensions, and then they talk about the uterine size is normal. Ovaries, can you move up the page? Okay, thank you. So there's a right ovarian simple cyst. You see the wording, it's a simple cyst. It's not something complex that's supposed to give you any problems whatsoever. It's measuring 2.6 by 1.7 centimeters in maximum diameter, likely physiological. So this is just a normal cyst, a physiological cyst. The left ovary appears normal. There are few physiological follicles. The total volume of the ovary is 7.2 cubic centimeters.
I just want to ask, Doctor, when they're talking about physiological, what are they talking about? And also looking at the numbers that that were being showed on the scan, how big is the uterus supposed to be? If you can explain either one of those questions.
All right, so physiological cysts, they are just talking about with a woman when she goes through the month, there are variations in the hormonal levels in the body. So those hormones, there's estrogen, there's progesterone, they cause the ovaries to produce these cysts. And the ones which they are calling follicular cysts, the ovaries contain what we call the eggs, the follicles. So those eggs are the ones which are supposed to be fertilized, okay? So there is one, maybe two, in rare cases, which matures every month, okay? So the hormones prepare the ovaries to mature these follicles, and sometimes you have cysts ensuing as a result. But the cysts, they come and go, they come and go. Usually we say when a cyst is more than 5 centimeters and it's causing discomfort, that's when the doctor say this is supposed to be drained, okay? Or maybe it's complex. You see, the wording they put there is simple cysts. The opposite of that is complex cyst. So if it becomes complex, or they think there is hemorrhage or bleeding into the cyst, then it becomes complex. Or maybe it's twisted or something like that. Then it's now a complex cyst. It has to be operated. So going by the dimensions that are there, besides that scan which shows one cyst which is slightly above 5 centimeters, the rest you can't really explain. Hair discomfort and hair pains. Okay. So you continued with this pain. 2022, you went for another scan. Now the doctor was no longer like outsourcing the scan. He was now doing the scan himself. What did the doctor say?
So in 2022, beginning of 2022, I started having heavy bleeding.
So during your periods or
During
in
my
between?
periods. During my periods.
So you started having heavy periods?
Yes.
So you now have chronic pelvic pain, you have severe leg pain.
Yes.
You now have a third challenge, which is heavy bleeding.
Yes.
Okay.
So the doctor took another scan, and he found out that there was a lining that was forming in my uterus.
Okay. So the doctor discovered something which was not there before.
No, apart from the cysts.
Or apart from the cyst.
Yes.
This lining is a new finding which they are now now seeing.
Yes.
That there is now a lining which is forming in the womb,
Yes.
which is abnormal.
Yes.
So what was the advice of the doctor when they saw that?
The doctor then advised us to do a laparoscopic diagnostic, so that they open me up, small incisions, they open me up, then they put a camera and see what is really the problem.
So suppose they do that procedure, what did the doctor say how they were going to treat you after the procedure? Or maybe as part of the procedure?
Firstly, he said, the doctor said, for me to live with the pain, he suggested that he put me on hormonal treatment. You give me hormonal tablets so that they will help me to ease the pain and the bleeding. So I then asked him if there's any permanent solution to that.
Because hormonal, you are going to be taking them every day.
every day.
If you skip the tablet or maybe you travel, you happen to forget the tablets, the pain comes back.
Yes, that's what he said. And he's also said if he puts me on hormonal treatment, they also suppress fertility. That's what he explained to me.
The hormonal tablets were going to suppress fertility.
Yes,
You still wanted to have children.
yes.
How many children did you have at that time?
True.
2 boy, girl, girls,
2 boys.
2 boys.
Yes.
Okay. So what was going to be the permanent solution from the doctor?
He said they could remove the uterus
So the permanent solution was to remove the uterus,
so that I can live pain-free.
but without further children.
Yes.
Okay. So what was your decision?
I was confused. So I told him, like, let's do the procedure and see what they will find. Then from there, we'll decide what to do.
It must have been a very difficult thing because if you're a woman, the last thing that you want to be removed is your uterus. Because from my understanding, that's what makes a woman feel like she's a woman, having that. And how did your husband feel about such a procedure happening to you?
It was a difficult situation for both of us. We didn't really discuss much about it because we were all confused. So we just waited for that procedure to be done for us to make the right decision.
It must have been a very emotional moment for you because I can see you're almost tearing right now. Okay. What was actually touching you? Was it the fact that now you could no longer have any other child? Did you feel like you needed another child, or what was actually going on in your mind?
Because what had happened is, like, my husband didn't want us to have more children after the boys. So early last year, I just felt like I now want a child without telling him. So when I heard the news that they could remove the uterus, I was shattered. Even though my husband didn't want a child, but as a woman, I just felt, even if I don't give birth, but I still need my womb as a woman.
Okay.
Yes.
But you know, you understand the husband's point of view. This problem started when she was carrying the second child in 2014. So to him, having another child is having another problem. This pain is going to be for life. And you understand him, his point of view, that probably is the caring of the second child which triggered all this. Because from the history that we have, that's when the problem started.
That's true.
Yeah. So now we are preparing for this surgery. You know, that's when it becomes very exciting, this testimony. What happened after that, it's literally mind-blowing. Mind-blowing for sure. So you had booked for the procedure. What was the
Yes.
date of the procedure that you were supposed to have it?
21 April 2022.
21 April 2022,
It was supposed to be on a Thursday.
on a Thursday.
Yes.
You know, that's when we were resuming our services after the COVID lockdown. And we started with the Easter conference, okay? So what happened now, like you are about to have the surgery?
So on the 20th of April,
This is the day before.
prior, yes,
Yes.
I visited the doctor's rooms preparing for the procedure the following day. I did some paperwork there, and then I left the doctor's rooms and went home. So that night on the 20th, I think I slept very late. Before I...
It's understandable. I'm a surgeon myself. I know my patients, the day before surgery, they are very anxious. they can't even sleep. They don't know if they put me under anesthesia, am I going to wake up? So naturally, everyone is going to be very anxious the night before the surgery. Okay, you can go ahead.
So before I went to bed, I took my life lighter, read my life lighter, and I went to bed. So I think maybe it was now the AM of the day of the procedure. I had a dream. So in that dream, I was coming home. Then when we reached the main gate, which Baba uses, the security guys stopped us. They said, wait, Baba is coming. So I thought Baba is coming from home, getting inside the church premises. So we waited. After a few minutes, I then saw Baba coming from the auditorium. So when he came out of the auditorium, he went straight to the Sunday school. So we were at the gate. So when he went to the Sunday school, he greeted the children there. Then he came over to the gate where we were waiting. So I was right at the front. Then we were waving at him. Since we had like a long time, tisina kuvaona. So he started passing where we were standing. Then when he reached where I was standing, he stopped. He just said, "You, not today."
So he's coming from the auditorium, he goes to the children.
Yes,
Your problem has to do with something with the children.
yes,
He goes to Sunday school, and then he comes to close to where you were,
yes,
and then he stops. And he says, "You, not today."
yes.
What was supposed to happen that day?
That was the day I was scheduled for the procedure. It was supposed to be, I was supposed to get into theater that morning,
Morning.
At 10 a.m., yes.
Did he explain, or I don't know if you recollect, did he explain why not today? He didn't say no surgery, he just said
He just
not
said,
today,
he
maybe
just
some
said
other
not
time later.
He just said not today. Then he said, speak to this doctor, the doctor that he was with in the dream.
So there was somebody who looked like a medical person.
Yes.
Okay?
So I went to the doctor in that dream. Then the doctor started explaining some things to me, but I didn't understand what the doctor was saying. All I recall is I was like talking to the doctor and saying, someone was like looking at a watch and telling the doctor, Baba said I should see you, but I'm scheduled for surgery and my time is almost up. What should I tell this doctor about the cancellation? Then the doctor said, just tell him that the procedure was done in South Africa.
So this is confusing. You're coming from this specialist,
Yes,
and Baba says not today.
yes,
Talk to this doctor.
yes,
And this doctor explains certain things
Yes.
which we are not privy to.
yes.
And then you are wondering, you're saying, I'm supposed to go for surgery this
That's-
morning in a
yes,
few, I don't know,
yes.
hours or minutes.
Yes,
What am I going to tell my doctor?
yes.
And the doctor says, tell him the procedure was done in South Africa. What was going through your mind? Did you tell him anything?
I was confused. I then asked the doctor, how can I tell this doctor that the procedure was done? Yet yesterday I was with him and we finalized everything for the procedure to be done. Then I woke up.
This is strange indeed. Very strange. So you woke up, we are now preparing to go for the procedure.
Yes,
The man of God has told you not today.
yes.
What happened next?
So I woke up early that morning, anxious, of course. I told my husband about the dream, but I didn't get into detail of the dream. I just told him that I had a strange dream canceling this procedure. Then he just said, you are scared, that's why. So he went out of the room. So I was now preparing to go and bath and preparing for me to go to the hospital. So around 7:41 in the morning, my phone rang.
You remember even the time?
Yes,
Okay. So your phone rang 7:41, 21 April.
yes. So my phone rang. Then when I saw the number, it was a landline number. Then I asked myself, who can call in the morning with a landline number? I know most people, they get to work around 8, after 8, but before 8, it's not something that's
It's
very
unusual.
common. Yes. So I picked the phone. Then a lady spoke to me
Where was this lady calling from?
from the doctor's rooms.
So somebody called you from the doctor's rooms at
Yes.
7:40.
7:41.
Okay. Yeah, that's very unusual. Most doctors open their offices at 8 or 8:30. So somebody's calling you very early in the morning.
In the
It has
morning.
to be an urgent message.
And what
if they
surprised me
open
is-
the office
yeah.
early.
What surprised me is also the doctor doesn't conduct his clinics on a Thursday.
So this was a Thursday.
This was a Thursday. So the lady called me and said, am I speaking to Tabitha? And I said, yes. Then she said, we are sorry. The doctor has cancelled your appointment. Let's move it to Monday.
No, doctor.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I want to understand things as you're explaining them, ma'am. You're
This is not a dream.
No,
This is- you are now
this is
awake.
reality now.
This is reality.
Yes.
Okay. So you are saying you were sleeping and you had a dream, and what did Baba say?
Baba said, not today.
Not today.
Yes.
And then there was a medical practitioner in the dream who said, go and tell your doctor what?
That the procedure was done in South Africa.
So, and then you're waking up in the morning and you're confused whether you should go or not.
Yes.
But now you're just pushing yourself to go.
Yes.
But inside of your mind, what was going on?
I was confused if I should go or not.
Okay.
And also my husband, to tell him that I'm not going,
It wouldn't make sense.
it wouldn't make sense. Because I couldn't just say to him, I had a dream and I'm now
I'm not
cancelling.
cancelling.
Yes.
And then what then happened was an assistant of the doctor
Yes.
gave a call
Yes.
and said that the procedure is not going to be done
Yes.
today.
Not today.
She said, the doctor has cancelled your appointment. He's not feeling well.
The doctor,
Can you come again? The reason for cancelling was?
The doctor, the lady said the doctor is not feeling well.
okay,
But you had seen the doctor the previous day. He was well.
Yes,
But that morning, he was no longer feeling well.
yes.
Ayo, Mirai, you are saying, what did Baba say to you in the dream?
Not today.
And that not today resulted in a phone call in
Yes.
the morning.
Yes.
That even if you had decided to go, the man of God decided to cancel it himself spiritually.
Yes.
You know, I'm actually astounded, doctor, at this kind of God that we have amongst us. That he gives you an instruction. And even when you feel like you're not able to follow as he has said, and he sees that your will is not strong enough, he goes ahead to secure that which he's trying to protect for you. People of God, this is a doctor that when she met the doctor the day before, the doctor was fully well.
Yes.
And It's a he.
It's a
And he
yes.
was talking to you very well. And he
Yes,
was fully
everything was
energetic.
said. Yeah,
All
everything was-
facets and faculties of him were
Yes.
working properly.
Yes,
And then the following day, he's not feeling well because there is an operation
Yes.
that has been cancelled.
yes.
How do you explain that, Doc?
Man of God, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but knowing doctors as I do, okay? It's in April. Okay, maybe suppose it's me, it's in April. May, I'm supposed to pay school fees. I've got a patient who has money, who is going to pay for the procedure. Do I let the patient go and cancel the procedure? Or I drag my sick body to theater and I go ahead with the procedure?
You know, now that you are saying that, it gives me a different kind of a picture, because I would think also as a parent that every parent would want to make sure everything is set for their child as they're going to school. But receiving such a message, it means that there was a thorough thought that it actually happened in the mind of the doctor. And
And he was probably was feeling so sick that he couldn't go. Was if it's a small thing, you just drag yourself. You just continue working. I know doctors. Sometimes it's not just the love of money, but even the love of work itself. It drives you to such a point that you can become a work addict. You are working and working and working and working. But when you see a doctor saying, no, today I can't, it really means something.
Okay.
That something has happened, you really can't.
I'm astounded at the stretching of the anointing, that it goes all the way to defend and to protect its beloved ones, who are you and me who's listening to me right now. It's able to come and get into the mind of the person and stay in that house and see what's about to happen. And at that particular time, it also has got an option to make sure that which it has said, it will come to pass. I've read a scripture which says everything that the prophet spoke about, none of his word fell to the ground empty-handed. Our father on Thursday spoke about omnipotence and omnipresence.
Exactly.
It's not something that he's speaking about theoretically. It's something that he himself practices, where he's able to be present in the place, in any other place. And also he has got the omnipotence, the ability to also correct the situation in that omnipresence. And he said it's not a facet that most people has, but he himself as a father has, because it's a unique way of function in the
Indeed.
spirit.
Indeed.
So you start realizing that when he speaks something, he's not just speaking something that he himself does not do.
Yes.
He's speaking things that he himself has
does.
actually managed to practice as a man of God and as a spirit.
Indeed. Indeed.
So now my curiosity now, doctor, is to know what then happened after this.
You know, coming back a little bit, you know, our society is very superstitious. The moment the patient is told the doctor has canceled the procedure and she has had a dream, and you try to convince her to give her another date, she knows, I'm canceling this completely. I'm not longer going to have this procedure, ever. Why did I have this dream, and why did the doctor cancel? Okay? But somehow, another date was set. And then the doctor how many weeks was it now when you eventually had this procedure?
It was 5 days after.
Or 5 days after, okay?
The procedure was supposed to be done on the 21st. Then I went for the procedure on the 25th.
Okay. So they then put a camera in your abdomen, and then they looked. What was their finding?
They found nothing. The doctor said your pelvic is clean.
Clean.
Yes,
The pelvis is clean.
yes.
What about this lining that he had seen earlier on?
My uterus was healthy. My tubes were perfectly fine. everything around my reproductive system was well and healthy.
Wow.
This is
And-
after.
And I understand he did the procedure with another doctor so that they could see together.
Yes.
What did this other doctor say?
When I went for the results, my doctor said, me and my colleague, we were looking at the scans that we did before, and what we saw, it was strange. That's what he said.
So he had the papers, the scans.
Yes.
And he's looking now in real time.
Yes.
And he's seeing these are two different patients.
Yes.
The scan shows a patient. This one is not a patient. Everything is normal.
Yes.
Wow.
So what did they say was the difference when the doctors looked at the scan? What was different with the wombs?
With what they saw on the scan, there was a lining, the cysts, and I also did a pap smear, which was saying I should do a quick follow-up for that, because my cervix, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the scan. I think they've got it, these guys. It's talking about atypical cells from the cervix. So it was like early stage or something which is a precursor or something which will lead to cervical cancer.
Yes.
That's what they showed. I saw the results from the lab, from one of the labs.
So they were now saying everything is now gone. You are now okay.
Yes.
Can you imagine where this is culminating from? It was a word from my father, from our father, in a dream.
Yeah, I was becoming jealous when you said my father.
You see, when things are now happening, you personalize, doctor. And that's how you actually receive a miracle. You personalize the man of God.
Exactly. That's
and you
it.
make him your own man of God.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Not any other man of God's man
My
of God.
father.
My father.
Yes.
Because, you know, there's always a sense of pride
Yeah.
when I speak about my father.
Yeah.
You see, because I've seen what God has done through him. And I have confidence of the existence of God in him as my father. And whenever I see things, he has made me to see God differently.
Exactly.
I now see how loving God is and how he's able to actually show love through the hands of our mother and our father. And that alone gives you pride to know that the sacrifices that our parents has done, it's actually for the good of every other person. People watching us online right now, people that are sitting right now that are listening to us. So I was saying, Mama, it's just a word from our Father. And the next thing, you have got a new womb. A womb without complications.
New
A womb-
tubes,
new
ovaries.
tubes, no ovarian cyst, no lining in the womb. How do you explain that, people of God? The reality of the dream, when you see the principal figures, our mother and father, in the
Exactly.
dream, you now know that exactly it is done. You have to know that a visitation by our father in a dream is as good as a physical visitation from them. This is amazing. I want to also know, I think the story is still going on, Mama. What then happened soon after? Fast forward.
Yeah, what did the doctors, did you ask him, Doc, where were you on the 21st? What
Yeah.
happened to you?
I did, because I was actually curious to know why he cancelled the procedure. I asked, how are you feeling, Chiremba? Then he said, that day I don't know what happened to me. Ndakaita kunge munhu aita COVID.
Oh, so he had COVID-like symptoms,
Yes, that's what he said.
and he thought it was going to be too risky to come close to patients.
Yes.
But then, you know, COVID-like, they don't just disappear. Like within 5 days, he's now okay, he's now operating. So it was just a sickness just for that day, because somebody had said not today.
I was going to say it was just a sickness that was tailor-made by you for yourself to the doctor, like you gave it to the doctor. But anyway, there's nothing like that.
You know, Baba once preached a message called Mepo Muka. Mepo inongo muka, just a wind from Norway and causes things. Okay, so we fast forward now. What happened to this pain now after that? The leg, the pelvic pain, all those things.
Ndofunga semunhu wokuthi I had lived with the pain for the longest of time. Zvinenge zvamumusoro.
But did you still continue having this pain?
Not like before.
Okay.
Even
So-
heels, nasi, I'm wearing my heels.
So
I
you
could-
felt a definite change after
yes,
that?
yes.
And how was it now at home?
Fine,
I didn't hear that.
fine.
Fine or fire? Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, so 3 months later, you went for the ladies' conference. This was the first one after the COVID lockdown.
Yes.
Okay, so there something happened. What happened at the conference?
When we were at the conference on Friday, the 23rd,
I like that you remember all these dates. So Friday, the 23rd of September.
yes, in the evening when Mama preached, he then called for an altar call for the people who want to have children.
And then you went.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you responded to that altar call. We've got a clip where Mama ministered to her. Media team, you can show us the clip. Wow. So it was just that touch. And then you went home. What happened when you went home?
Soon after the service, we went to the tents. So when we were at the tents, there was this lady who had given a testimony of barrenness. Then there's a statement that she said in a testimony. She said when she was prayed by Mama, she started having this burning sensation in both her breasts. So when we went to the tents, I started feeling what that lady had explained. So I told my friends, I'm feeling what that woman was saying. And my friend said, Sisi, zvino zviri mumusoro. Then we
This was
left
just
for the camp.
psychological.
Okay, so you left the camp, went back home. Like you were saying, everything was now fine.
Yes.
Okay? And then what happened next?
I think
Or fine or fire, I don't know. Okay? So whatever it was. Okay?
so. After the camp, when I went back home, that was in October. I think around mid-October, going forward, those sensations they kept coming and going. But in November, they then persisted. Pregnancy was the last thing on my mind at that moment, at that time. So I started feeling sick. I didn't know what was happening to me. My husband, that time, he was away on work. So I called him. I told him that I'm not feeling well. Then he jokingly said, "Awuna nhumbu here."
He said, are you not pregnant?
So I brushed him off. I said, inobva kuphi?
Where would it come from?
I saw my period recently. So the sickness then persisted. That is when I went for the to to my doctor, the doctor again. I went to his room. On that day, I didn't make an appointment. I just drove myself there.
I mean, did you test yourself or anything like that? Or you just straight went to the doctor?
I went to the doctor first. So when I get to the doctor, I was told by the lady there that we are sorry, why didn't you call today? And the lady said, the doctor is away. He's away on training. You can see him the following Monday. So I went back home. That's when I decided to buy a test. I tested myself.
What was the result?
It was positive.
Wow. Media team, I think you've got this clip of the test strip. You can show us the date. There must be a date somewhere. You know, if you see those two lines and you are married, you are happy. Okay? I won't say anything further. You see those two lines, you are happily married, you celebrate. You know the opposite of that. So you saw those two lines, you started celebrating. You then saw the doctor the following week. What did the doctor say?
So I went to the doctor the following week. I told him that I had tested. Then he said, we need to be sure. So let's take your blood, then we test. They tested me, the results came back, and I was told I was 6 weeks pregnant.
Wow. So this is 6 weeks, this is now mid-November.
Mid-November, yes.
Okay. So you can go back.
To the 23rd.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you are now pregnant. You are carrying your pregnancy now. Did you have any challenges? The 2014 pregnancy caused you challenges.
Yes.
This one, did you have any challenges?
Nausea only.
Just nausea.
No.
Just to tell you that you are pregnant.
Yeah, the normal pregnancy.
Okay. The pain, the pelvic pain, the leg pain, anything about that?
With this pregnancy, no.
Nothing. Wow. And then the delivery, we now just want to wind up our testimony. The delivery, any challenges?
No challenges. I didn't know that because I reached my 40th week. I went to the doctor. He said, let's do a membrane sweep to start the process of labor.
Okay.
When he was about to do that, then he told me, kowatomu labor.
But you were not feeling anything?
I wasn't feeling anything.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he said, go chenda kumba unoenda ku hospital tozosangana ikoko.
And he said, you
I
can
went
go home, then go to the hospital where we will meet.
I went home. I checked myself into the hospital. It was around 8 in the evening. I did all the paperwork. Then the nurse said, let's check you. It was around 9. They checked me and she said, you are on 3 centimeters. She came back again around 10. I was on 5 centimeters.
So were you in pain?
I wasn't in pain.
You told us something like throughout that you were calling your husband, chatting, and he was wondering
we
whether...
were together with my husband.
Oh, you were together?
Yes, we were actually laughing at other ladies who were screaming and crying. But we are not theater.
So you eventually delivered. When did you deliver, the date?
I checked into the hospital on the 10th, around 8 p.m.
8 in the evening.
10th July. Then around 4 a.m. on the 11th, I delivered the baby.
Wow. Congratulations. So this is 11 July. That's the baby there, the fresh baby. Yeah, this baby looks big. How many kgs was this baby?
3.74.
Wow. And you had no pain with this baby?
I started feeling pain, I think, 30 minutes or so prior
to the baby coming out.
Yes.
But throughout, when you had this, there
I
was no
actually
pain, nothing.
slept.
You slept.
I actually slept around 11, then woke up Kuma 2.
Wow.
Doctor,
That's a blessing.
it's actually a blessing of the house. I remember even my wife, when she was in labor with our child, she just walked into labor, and I think by 6 a.m. we already had our baby. And then she was being asked by someone, out of 10, how was the labor pain? She actually said 0 out of 10. She didn't even feel labor pain. And I said, how did this happen? She said, I told Mama, prophetess, that I don't want pain in my labor. And my wife never had pain in a labor. And
Wow.
so it's something that I've noticed. Even our father once talked about it, that there is a grace that we have in this house, that the pain can be taken away from you
Yes.
during labor.
You know, you end up not calling it labor. Maybe you have to find a different name for it, because you are not laboring to have this baby come out. So this baby is a baby boy, baby girl. What is it?
It's a girl.
It's a girl. Wow. So, you can bring the baby. Oh, that's where she is.
You know, it's astounding. So you had 2 boys, and you now wanted a baby girl.
Yes.
And Mama had specifically said on that conference that if you want a baby girl, if you want a baby boy, come and have the babies. Look at that, people of God. You see, what's astounding is, since 2014, or since a second baby, she was having a problem that could not allow her to be comfortable to have a child. But when she had an encounter with our father, that problem was eradicated. And the next thing that happened was the mother, our mother, the spiritual mother, she gave her a gift that she was yearning for. She wanted a baby girl. And rightfully, to the words of our mother said that if you want a baby girl, if you want a baby boy, come and get that child. That ability that our parents have, that they know the God that they possess, and they know what this God can actually do. And it's so astounding that our mother actually said, these hands that I have, these hands,
They carry babies.
They carry babies.
Imagine.
And these hands are blessed.
September, she's at the conference. Exactly 9.5 months later, 11th of July, she's delivering. What more do you want? When all odds are against you, there's an anointing that breaks everything and makes everything line up perfectly for you. Thank you, Mama. Congratulations on your baby. Thank you for allowing us to testify of the goodness of the God of our mother. So there you are, people of God.